Hey, I'm Ryan. I'm one of the elders here at New Vintage Church, and I'm happy to be coming at you with this week's Midweek Devotional. But before we get started, I just want to ask you a question. If you could look into the future, what would you want to see? Today we're going to be in Isaiah chapter 56, verse 17, and Isaiah gives us a little glimpse into what he sees for the future and what God has for us. So let's get started. Verse 17, chapter 65, Isaiah. Behold, I will create a new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind. But be glad and rejoice forever in what I will create. For I will create Jerusalem to be a delight, and its people a joy. I will rejoice over Jerusalem and take delight in my people. The sound of weeping and crying will be heard in it no more. Never again will there be in it an infant who lives but a few days, or an old man who does not live out his years. He who dies at 100 will be thought a mere youth, and he who fails to reach 100 will be considered accursed. They will build houses and dwell in them. They will plant vineyards and eat their fruit. No longer will they build houses and others live in them, or plant and others eat. For as the day of a tree, so will the days of my people. My chosen ones will long enjoy the works of their hands. They will not toil in vain, or bear children doomed to misfortune. For they will be a people blessed by the Lord. Before they call, I will answer. While they are still speaking, I will hear. The wolf and the lamb will feed together. The lion will eat straw as the ox. But dust will be the serpent's food. They will neither harm nor destroy on all my holy mountain, says the Lord. And I just thought that was a cool passage for what we're going through, the whole COVID thing. I'm about sick of it. But it's just that verse 65, that first verse 17. Behold, I will create a new heaven and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind. I mean, we're not even going to remember. We're not even going to remember what's going on here. We're just going to be in the promised land, and it's going to be awesome, and we're not even going to be thinking about these little things that are going on here. So something to look forward to. But everybody wants a glimpse into the future, right? The last part of Isaiah, last couple chapters, gives us just that. It talks about the future and what will happen at the end of the age of the earth. The account's not easy to understand, though. Isaiah kind of jumps back and forth sometimes between future events and current events, and unless you're really paying attention, it's kind of confusing. Usually I read from the KJV version. I'm not saying it's better. It's just better for me because when I'm reading, it slows me down, and it just makes me read the words and helps me understand because I have to read and reread to figure out what it's actually saying. But when I read like NIV or something, I'll zip through a couple chapters and not even know, like my mind, I'll be reading words, but my mind will be wandering somewhere else. But if I'm reading KJV, it really helps me to understand what I'm reading instead. But yeah, especially here in Isaiah, he jumps back and forth, and you have to just reread stuff and say, what the heck is this guy talking about? But easy to understand that little part we just read, looking into the future. But the book of Isaiah goes on to describe a new beginning, a time of triumph and peace. In that day there will be no need for tears. Wild animals will tamely lie down together. The sun and the moon will fade, and it will be overwhelmed by the glory of God. And even today, some phrases like beat their swords into plowshares. We use those in common language. Not really common language, but it's a thing. You might have heard it. Anyway, but it just expresses our longing for wars to be over and for the future and for peace, really. We dream of a time of peace without pain, fear, disease, death, COVID, and Isaiah assures us that one day those dreams will come true.